Hi there. So one of the latest news article I've come across is from the International Committee of Red Cross. So it's the Red Cross, and they were saying that they are not able, or they have suspended food aid to displaced people in Kanyabayonga. And then that's one of the stories. And when I looked up what is taking place there, more articles like this one saying nowhere to go. People are trapped in the eastern DRC town as rebel militia seized a key town. So the story goes that the Rwandan-backed rebels, that is the M23, mostly, as I keep saying, M23 is made up of mostly Rwandan Defense Force. So these are Rwandan troops alongside some elements that claim to be Congolese, but we know these are also Ugandan troops. So this M23 has been, for the last 3 weeks, been trying to capture the town of Kanyabayonga, because it is very strategic for them after they took Bunagana. Bunagana is the border town from Uganda all the way to Congo, and basically connects Congo to cities like Kampala and Mombasa and Nairobi in Kenya. So for you to go to Congo, you have to go through Bunagana. So about 2 years ago, they took this town, and they've been controlling this town called Bunagana. They've been collecting taxes there. They are the police there. They are the government there, and so on. And then they moved into a little bit interior, 20 kilometers in. They took another town called Ruchuru, and particularly the town or the center of Kiwanja, which is the largest part of the town of Ruchuru. And they've been operating in Kiwanja. Kiwanja is, as a matter of fact, the headquarters of these Rwandan troops in Congo. So it's from Kiwanja where they have stored most of their ammunition. That's where most of their leaders stay or live. And that's where they're able to coordinate attacks to other towns like Sake, which is very close to the city of Goma, and other towns. Now, one of the towns they've realized they need to really control is Kanyabayonga. I'm going to show you where it is located, but that is the story. It's yesterday, which was the 28th, they managed now to dislodge the Congolese army from that town, and the other government allied fighters called the Wazalendo, which is made up of the young people from these territories that M23 and Rwandan troops keep attacking. So the story is that the Rwandan-backed M23 rebels have seized a strategic town in the DRC volatile east. So the story is quoted from someone who said Kanyabayonga has been in the hands of the M23 since Friday evening, that is yesterday. So that's what the administrative official of that territory said. And he goes ahead to say that Kanyabayonga lies on the north front of the conflict. So I'm going to take you to Google Earth so that you get a picture of what we are talking about. So this is Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and this is the larger Congo. And of course, you can see Kenya and Tanzania on the right. So if we zoom in a little bit, we just go to the border, we follow the roads. So this is the road, and we come to this border here. This is Bunagana, the one I was talking about. And now when you move about 20 kilometers inside, you come to Ruchuru. And I said they took Kiwanja, which is the larger, more commercial town of Ruchuru. As you can see, it's huge. All these kind of houses and business shops. So it's huge. It's a city of about 15,000 people, more than 15. So as you can see, and this is the area that M23 controls. As a matter of fact, they control most of these huge headquarters that were former government headquarters. And we saw last year when they went in almost every radio station that they could come across in North Kivu and they managed to basically take equipment from these radio stations, and then they managed to start building their own radio station. So they currently have a radio station that they use for propaganda. It covers all these territories, so people listen to them. The other thing is that this Kiwanja has an airport, so they're able to fly out to Kampala anytime, and they do that. There are helicopters that come there. Now the town, if you follow this road here, it's one of the kind of main highway. You come north, you come to this junction. That's where Kanyabayonga is, or Kanyabayonga, and it is at the junction of Ruchuru all the way to Bunagana, and Butembo to the north, and Benin to the further north. So the road is a major highway that connects Goma, the city of Goma, through Sake all the way to South Sudan. It's the main highway along that route. M23 have always wanted to control that highway, and today, or rather yesterday, they've managed to do that, because now they control the whole of Ruchuru. They have Kanyabayonga, and their next objective will be to try once again for the 5th time this year, or rather between this year and last year, to take Sake, which they will. Believe me, they are going to take Sake, because the reason why I'm saying this is that the government knew Kanyabayonga was going to be taken. They actually sent some huge number of troops, including about 12 tanks. You know, tanks, T-62 tanks. They were seen here in this city fighting here. So it wasn't guarded or defended by few numbers. It was defended by the largest army Congo could get there. We are talking about 10,000 troops, supported by drones, supported by artillery, supported by mortar shells, and tanks and other types of vehicles here. But the M23 was, for the last 3 weeks, operating 15 kilometers from here. So they were in these hills, watching, learning, provoking, trying to look for weakness, until last night when they came and took it. So the question is then, did they take it after fighting? Did close to more than 5,000 Congolese troops that were there lose against a similar number of these Rwandan soldiers? No, I don't think so. I think the Congolese left it. They ran. They abandoned it like they usually do. So you can imagine more than 5,000 Congo troops running south. You can even imagine the kind of logistics that you need to move that kind of number. We are talking about close to 500 pickup trucks. We are talking about them moving the T-62 tanks, T-55 tanks, 5 of them. You know how a tank creates so much dust on a road like this. So the tanks were seen by villagers running south. 500 pickups were seen, more than 500 pickups were seen driving south, and more than 5,000 Congo troops were seen, moving south, running away from this position, demobilizing from this position, retreating, running away. So you can imagine that kind of an image. So it just shows that Congo is not interested in defending these territories. It doesn't make sense. This is your land. These are your people. But it doesn't look like the government in Kinshasa cares. And it's not like they've run out of money. Because if you look at the salary of a member of parliament earns in Congo, they call them député. They earn twice as much as Kenyan members of parliament. And in Kenya, people have been protesting, saying that Kenyan members of parliament earn a lot of money. They earn more than members of parliament or Congress in the United States. Their monthly salary is somewhere in the regions of $20,000. That is Kenyan. And in Congo Kinshasa, they earn $30,000 to $40,000 every month. So that's why they don't care. So the country has a lot of money. So it's not that they ran out of money to defend these territories. Otherwise, they would have cut down on the government spending, slashed their parliament salaries and, bonuses and budgets, and reallocated that money to this war effort. But they are not doing that because they don't care. So they are sending troops there, 500, 1,000, then 2,000 and so on. And then after like a month, they're telling those troops to basically get out of there. Hundreds of vehicles are seen driving south by the locals around these territories, by their own soldiers, running away from an enemy who doesn't have air support, an enemy who doesn't have artillery support, an enemy who is in foreign territory. They are running away from such an enemy and leaving a huge town like Kanyabayonga into the hands of this enemy. So personally, at this juncture, I've been supporting Congo. I'm not stopping to support them, but can the government in Congo just hand over North Kivu to Rwanda? Can they just say, Rwanda, if you stop attacking us, we are going to let you have the North Kivu. Just have it. Let it be part of your territory. No need to continue fighting and insulting each other. Take the North Kivu province. Can they do that? Because look, this is the region of Kanyabayonga. That is the tower where you have a radio station and Airtel towers. So the M23 have taken all this territory, huge territory, and they are going to control now the flow of goods between Butembo, Benin, and now Goma. And one thing I've been noticing about the people who live here, mostly they are the Bantus. They are related to the Hutu people of Rwanda, Congo, Uganda, Burundi. They can call themselves names like Bahunde. They can call themselves names like, I don't know, the Bembe, the Flelo, those names. But they are the same people. If you look at them, the culture, they're the same Bantu group. And even in Uganda, the Baganda people and the Chiga people of Uganda, Bachiga, they are not this. They are very close to these people. They even speak languages that are mutual intelligible. A Muchiga guy in Uganda speaking Kichiga would be understood by a Muhunde in Ruchuru. You can confirm that from people in those territories. So they are the same people. But one thing I've noticed, they are traitors. They sell each other out. That's how they were able to lose Rwanda to a minority community of the Tutsi. And now today we have now these smaller Tutsi people in North Kivu. Those who claim to be from North Kivu are actually less than 400,000, because we have like 70,000 in Rwanda in the refugee camps. We have about 40,000 in Ugandan refugee camps, and those who are still in Kivu around Goma, they are less than 20,000. So if you put them together, they are actually less than 200,000 Bamasisi Tutsi. So they are that people. But then they have this rebel group called M23 with some Rwandan troops who are not more than 6,000. As a matter of fact, they are probably less than 5,000. And they've managed to take over this whole territory. The same territory, North Kivu, has a population of 11 million people, of which 6 million of them have been displaced to different camps. And all these Bahutu, all these Bahunde, all these group cannot come together to kick out a minority group. And it's not like they don't have guns. Countries have helped them over the years to have guns. It started with Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe back in 2004 came and gave them guns. Then we saw Angola sending a lot of guns in recent times. So they have a lot of machine guns, a lot of AK-47s. But what do they do with those guns? They don't use them to defend their territories. They use them to, as a matter of fact, to fight one another. You find a Bahunde fighting a Muhutu and so on. And then you have a minority community of less than 200,000 coming to rule and control and tax and administer a territory of more than 11 million of these Bantus. it just shows that they are not serious. You can't help these people. Like the other day we saw Wazarendo in Goma shooting one another over things like a woman, like someone is dating the same woman I'm dating, and then they would start fighting and shooting each other. So there are people who are uncivilized, and that's how they lose territories. In Rwanda, we have cases where a Mhutu would go to sell his cousin to a Tutsi police officer to just go and tell him or snitch that his cousin is planning ABCD, and then they would come and pick the guy. That's how a minority community in Rwanda of the Tutsi, who are less than 2 million people in Rwanda, is able to rule a country with 9 million Hutus without a single Hutu in government, without a single Hutu in military. So you find because they know how to betray each other, and they want to basically be given favors, they are able to lose huge territories to this minority group. Because now you can't explain how they've lost North Kivu to a minority group of Tutsis. In Bunagana, this group of Tutsis is collecting taxes. Then they are collecting taxes in Ruchuru. A king of Bahunde, I think, in Bwito is that part of Ruchuru in Kiwanja, is now a subject of these M23 Tutsis. He pays taxes to them. He asks them permission to do whatever a king does. It's just crazy. And now they've taken Kanyabayonga. And the people of Kanyabayonga, which probably are 20, 40,000, I don't know, and they are going to be paying taxes to M23. They are going to be following rules and laws and regulations as dictated to them by these M23. If they break these laws, they are going to be jailed by M23. And these M23 are Rwandan troops, and mostly the Tutsis from Rwanda. And they are less than 5,000 because the Congo army, which was more than 2,000 in Kanyabayonga, left them. So Congo I don't think the leadership in Congo is serious, and I doubt whether Congo was actually ready to get independence, because the people there cannot rule themselves. And I think Paul Kagame has realized this, and that's why he's going to take the North Kivu territory. He is going to do that before 2025. Before the next 2 years, he's going to take that territory. Believe me.